What's good, YouTube? It's your boy K Flex. I'm back here again with another video after another loss. Okay, didn't feel like making this video, but I gotta be here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dolphins lost again, and the season has fastly turned upside down on its heel. On its head, I'm sorry. After we beat the Buffalo Bills, which was looked like it was gonna be an amazing season, and now we're 3-3. Still could be an amazing season, but there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Primarily, there is a lot of injuries. Now the Vikings. We were shutting them down most of the game. They just had a few drives where they scored and they were able to move the ball. But the Dolphins was playing really good football on defense most of the game. Despite us losing Nick Needham and having to play Noah Igbo, and Igbo actually played good this game, surprisingly. Okay, yeah, he did have one pass interference, but he actually played pretty well this game. If anything, Xavier Howard was getting burnt at times. Byron Jones is still a no-show, but our defense still played good enough to win the game for majority of it. We just simply lost because we could not do anything on offense. Now, Skylar Thompson played at the beginning. He looked pretty good, honestly, pretty solid. And then next thing you know, he's out with a thumb injury, okay? Our offensive line have gotten every quarterback I've ever seen them play in front of killed my whole life. Like, whether it was Tannehill, whether it was, you can go all the way back in the past, Our offensive line has always got our quarterbacks killed. Skylar Thompson ended up going out with just a thumb injury and ended up missing the entire game, which was surprising because I thought maybe he'd come back, but he missed the whole game. So we ended up having to play Teddy Bridgewater, who in this situation is different from last situation because Teddy Bridgewater practiced all week last week. This week he didn't. So he came in, started off really slow. By the time he settled in, we had a chance still. Then Waddle fumbles, and Waddle, he had two big turnovers this game. Waddle really cost us a lot this game, Jalen Waddle, and we all love Jalen Waddle, right? Everybody, he's like a fan favorite, but nobody's like incapable of slandering. Nobody's incapable of costing you the game. And this game, Waddle costed us. Okay, I'm not saying it's completely on his shoulders. It's never on one player, but Waddle fucking fumbled. Basically, it was a one possession game. Waddle fumbles. After getting the first down, we were moving the ball. Teddy had settled in. That was it right there. And for Waddle to fumble, he just kind of costed us right then. It is what it is. You hate to be like, oh, one player cost you the game, but he wasn't the only person. Teddy starting off slow, and then Skylar getting injured, and then the NFL even making us have to, not letting Teddy practice all week, even though he was healthy. It's a lot of things that factored into the game, but at the end of the day, we had a chance, and I feel like the biggest play of the game was just the turnover difference. If you look at the yards, we had way more yards than them. We would, by many standards, outplay them. We outplayed them, but just the turnover differential, I think we didn't have no turnovers. I think maybe we had one. Well, we forced the fumble, but I don't know if we recovered it. I won't say we had any turnovers, but I think we turned the ball over 3 times. Let me see. We turned the ball over way too many times to win. Teddy Bridgewater had 2 picks. I want to say it was a fumble too, but either way it goes, I don't know if we lost him, but either way it goes, they just ended up whooping us on the turnover. That's the only reason they won this game, because we turned the ball over. They did not turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? They punter was punting like a madman. He was punting 70 yards. We ended up in bad field position almost every drive. We didn't force no turnovers, and they was able to force turnovers. Xavier Howard got burnt a couple of times, including one for a touchdown with Adam Thielen. But yeah, like I said, you're gonna get burnt. As a cornerback, it's like the hardest position in the world because you're never gonna be expected to just shut down a receiver, even if you're the best corner in the world. It's because it's just way too hard with how good receivers are and the fact that they know where they're going and you don't. It's almost impossible, especially when you're running a lot of man coverage like that, for you not to get beat at times. But I'm waiting for Byron Jones to get back. When Byron Jones gets back, things get a lot better. Nick Needham looks like he has a serious injury, so now Byron Jones really needs to come back, even though Noah did look good today. But our defense is not really my concern. Really, my concern is the offense. The second half was looking pretty good until Waddle fumbled. Okay, after in the fourth quarter, I would say, until Waddle fumbled. Mike Gesicki was pretty good. He had 2 touchdowns. I only wish that ran the ball a little bit more in the second half, because it was clear Teddy Bridgewater wasn't like that guy. So in the second half, we wasn't really running the ball that much. You could look at the stats. Raheem Mostert had 14. I don't know how many of those was in the second half in the fourth quarter, but it's not like we was just passing the ball every play. Tyreek Hill, he's like quarterback proof, matchup proof. He's gonna go crazy against anybody. 12 catches, 177 yards. Amazing game. Jalen Waddle, the game is kind of inflated off the fact that he had a long catch in garbage time. So his numbers did get inflated, but he played okay, and then he fumbled the game away though. And also one of the picks that Teddy Bridgewater threw was, won't say his fault, but he should have caught the ball, basically. So yeah, Jalen Waddle definitely did. This wasn't his best game. Mike Gesicki played amazing. At this point, it's like you look at a guy like Tanner Conner who had 2 targets, 0 catches, and you say, listen, I understand Mike Gesicki can't block, but I would rather see Mike Gesicki get put on his ass every play and him be in the game than him not be in the game. And you have Tanner Conner can't play, like he's not good. So, but let's see what else. Other than that, I mean, offense, I mean, we was getting yards, but we would just turn the ball over. Jason Sanders absolutely robbed the Miami Dolphins. This dude gets, all this money and he missed the field goal. And I don't know if that would have made a difference, but he definitely missed the field goal. Again, defense played well. The punter played well. Jason Sanders missed a field goal. And that's, essentially why we lost. Jason Sanders missing a field goal and then turnovers. Turnover after turnover after turnover. That'll cost you the game. We had more yards than them, like I said, look at the receivers. We played a good game. When you look at the numbers on offense, it looks like we played good, but it's just the costly turnovers by, Teddy Bridgewater and, Jalen Waddle and, cost us the game. And we have a receiver, we have a quarterback that haven't practiced all week because NFL protocol, and we have to start him because Skylar Thompson gets hurt, in the first or second drive, and he was looking pretty good. Jay Jettis was contained for most of the game. He had a really long catch that inflated his numbers. He was contained. Their whole offense was contained. Like Dalvin Cook had a super long run, but that was so it looks like he wasn't contained. But Dalvin Cook, y'all can't see the stats, but Dalvin Cook was contained for most of the game as well. Kirk Cousins only has 175 yards. He was contained. We did great on offense. We did great on defense. And if we had our quarterback, we probably would have beat the hell out of them. But I ain't gonna make no excuses. They won. But it's like, look at the yard discrepancy. Like, bro, we have double their yards. Double their yards, double their passing yards, almost the equal amount of rushing yards, averaging way more yards a play, and we just lost a fumble and had 2 interceptions. We lost the turnover battle 3-0. That's simple. Listen, when they sacked us more times, we was more efficient on third down. Our time of possession was higher, and also our penalties killed us. We had a drive where we had about 5 penalties in a row, which we should have had scored a touchdown. But the penalties killed us, and mainly just the turnover battle. Look at the stats. The turnover battle just absolutely destroyed us. All right, they just forced turnovers when they needed to. And that's pretty much how you lose a game. You just turn the ball over in a game that, we should have won. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Tua is coming back next week. And that is what we got to look forward to. Okay, we're 3-3, so basically it's like we're 0-0. A lot of people like to say, well, we were 1-7 last year and we fought back. But we didn't make the playoffs last year, and we ended up in a horrific position. So it's like, I don't want to be like, oh, just because we were 1-7 last year and we almost made the playoffs, that means that this is okay. It's not really okay because the momentum, we're supposed to be different than last year, right? We're not supposed to be like the same team. We're just comparing ourselves to last year. We're supposed to compare ourselves to the good teams. And, so it's just looking like bad right now, okay? Now next week we play the Steelers in primetime. Tua's back. Hopefully Teron Armstead's back. And hopefully we can make something happen. Again, this is like the 3rd game in a row our quarterback goes down. Okay? The 3rd game in a row. It's like we can't catch a break. Every game somebody's injured. Every game somebody else is getting a devastating injury. This game it was Nick Needham. Nick Needham probably, I would hate to diagnose him, but he probably will not play again for the rest of the season. It looked like his Achilles. So I'm looking at this like, man, every single game is something with the team. Like, somebody getting injured, somebody's out. Like every single game, it's like, damn, like what? And then at that, on top of the fact that Byron Jones still has not played, and that's like one of the highest paid players on the team in the NFL, and he still has not played. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be missing that much money off the books, unaccounted for, because this guy's injured still. I don't know when he's coming back, but it would be cool to know. But yeah, we lost 3-3. But you can't really, I think, it is what it is a bit. Only complaints I have is I wish we would have ran a little bit more in the second half, especially when we made it 1 possession, because we were just passing away too much. And I didn't trust Teddy like that. I wish Skylar didn't get injured. And Let's see what else. Other than that, I mean, we played pretty okay on off. I mean, we played pretty well. You just can't turn the ball over that many times. This is how we used to beat teams back in like last year in the Brian Flores era. Is that people used to like we used to play that bend but don't break. But like people used to get all these yards on us, but then we'll get a pick six, fumble six. You know, remember we had like a turnover in like 16 straight games. That's how we used to win. They beat us how we used to beat teams. We just used to win the turnover battle, and the offense just can't really up. But they don't have to carry the team. Like their offense did nothing special all game, besides I guess the late run with Dalvin. But they didn't really do anything special all game, and they beat us because strictly off winning the turnover battle. That was it. That was the only reason they beat us. They won the turnover battle. All right. Get in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Next week we play the Steelers, who actually did beat the Bucks today, which nobody expected, right? So the Steelers are not gonna be no easy out. Nobody's an easy out versus the Dolphins because we're not like that good. Like we're not like that's the thing. Like I don't look at any team to be like, oh yeah, this is a win. Like we just lost to the Jets. We just lost to the Vikings, who are pretty good. But like we're not that team where it's like, even when we were 3-0, I never thought like, oh, this is an easy out for us. You know what I'm saying? There's never an easy. First of all, there's not really even an easy out for even the best teams in the league. But it's definitely not us, because I don't even think like we're good, but like I never really was that cocky to us to think that we were like the most amazing team in the world. When I actually will be cocky, you'll know, because I actually won't be cocky, if that makes sense. Like I talked a lot of shit when we were 3-0 because I was like, we might suck. But honestly, if I ever feel like we have a really good team, I will instantly stop being cocky, because I don't think it's funny at that point, because then it's like, well, you're just being an ass on that. Like if you're like a great team and you're just like a cocky fan, it's like you're just like obnoxious. But since I already know like the Dolphins possibly sucked, which now is going through hard times, I won't say we suck. Now it's okay for me to be cocky if we win, because it's like, well, you know, the Dolphins will get there. You know, it's not cool for like the Chiefs fan to be cocky, because it's just like, bruh, like, are you serious? Yeah, but so that's how you'll know when I actually think we're good, because I will cease to be cocky, okay? But anyways, you're gonna come to know what you guys think. All right, we cannot go 3-4 next week. This game's gonna